Hugh, we got a trade last night. I'm at the Phillies game, and I got a little notification on my phone. The Eagles have made a trade. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? The Eagles last night traded Thomas Booker, one of their defensive tackles, to the Raiders for a corner, Jakorian Bennet, who is a young player. He came out the same year as Keely Ringo. I think he was taking the pick before, right around Keely Ringo. So they land Jakorian Bennet. Let's hear Nick Sirianni this morning discussing the trade and how the whole thing came about with the Eagles landing a corner from the Raiders last night.
What led to the trade for Bennet? I think Howie does such a good job of continually trying to improve our football team. No one does it better than he does, and we thought that was an opportunity to add some depth at corner. We feel good about our depth. Obviously, we'll miss Book and wish him the best, and we feel good about our depth at defensive tackle, but just a way to add some depth there at corner.
Hugh, what did you make of the trade? I mean, first of all, he's talking about depth and all that, but it felt telling that they made this trade now, and you said he's here already, this guy.
Yeah, he's here. He met him this morning. He had practice. There's a lot. Allow me one more second to long talk just a little bit. Because Booker yesterday, we sitting here in the tent,
RV.
This wonderful RV, and we do the show.
Brought to you by Forest River RV.
Forest River RV, that's shameless plug. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Booker was out there talking to the crowd, talking about, being here in Philadelphia and all this other stuff.
Yep.
Then he gets traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. Talk about going from classy to ashy like real fast. That was one thing. And on the other side, you talk about the young corner that they brought in. I think it's kind of telling that they brought him in before the first preseason game. To me, allow me to recklessly speculate like I like to do. They like the fact that Cooper DeJean can play safety. I think that's probably going to be, when it's all said and done, your starting safety.
So not even the nickelback anymore? You mean
that's what I'm thinking.
Woo!
Because we're talking about – but this is still a fluid situation.
I know, but that's a big change.
They're not happy with the corners. So much so that they didn't even want to wait for the first preseason game. Because the young man that they brought in, he's been a starter since he's been in the league.
Adoree.
Yeah.
He's been a starter. You mean the young guy yesterday?
Yeah, the one they got yesterday. He's been a starter since he's been in the league, Joe. And – He didn't say it to me, but he wants to start. Like that. He's here to start. He's here to get a starting job. So that's where we're at with that.
All right, so we're going to see where this goes, from here on out, the rest of the camp. They're obviously adding to the competition at that other corner or maybe slot, if they want to move.
Yeah, maybe that. But
Cooper around.
He going to start. He's coming here to start.
Well, okay, so maybe he's better than Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. What we're going to find out as the next few weeks go on. According to the ESPN story I was reading about the trade, he had dropped to the second and third team in OTAs and minicamp on the Raiders. So, there's a little concern in my mind if we are trading for a second or third team Raider corner to start. Now, if it's just a depth piece, and look, the Eagles have a ton of depth on the defensive line, right? And especially in interior. They have Ty Robinson, who they drafted. Gabe Hall seems to be making a case to be on this team. Obviously, we have Mora Jomo in here, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. They got a lot. Thomas Booker probably wasn't going to play for this team.
Yeah,
okay? He's probably fifth or sixth in the depth chart. So, whatever. If they want to swap him,
he probably would have made the team. Like we were talking earlier, but they're so deep they can afford to, give him a chance to go somewhere else and play.
He probably wouldn't have played much, right? He could have been on the team, but not play much. Okay, so I'm fine with the trade. But we're trading for a guy that had a labrum issue last year. Again, I'm not saying he can't play. And you're right, he did start some and showed some good stuff in the NFL. But this offseason, he had dropped to second team on the Raiders. Does that concern you? If your theory is right, that they're concerned about their corners, and they're getting a second team Raider corner, I don't know, man. That makes me a little concerned.
Well, from the small sample of me communicate with him like I did, he talked about the organization and how – the coaching staff is much better than it was, and how, he kind of, fell out of favor, fell out of grace, if you will. In
Las Vegas?
Well, a little bit.
That backs up the story I was reading. He's played with primarily the second and third teams, and he's been with the backups this offseason.
And that could potentially be the style of play that they want from their corners, Joe, the new regime.
You saying maybe he didn't fit in?
Doesn't jive with what they want their corners to do.
He's with Pete Carroll now. It's more of a zone defense.
Yeah. So he's probably more of, more of a hands-on type guy. So that's where I think that comes in at, and it says a lot to me that they didn't wait. They did not wait till the first preseason game to go get a corner. Like they traded Buddy. Like Buddy got traded when you were at the game. He caught the red eye.
I know the fact when you said to me you talked to him this morning, I'm like, wait, on the phone? He's here?
Joe.
He's in Vegas last night.
He caught the red eye. Yeah. Hey, bro, you need to get your ass out here real quick.
Well, that means that they
means a lot.
Yeah, and when Dotson arrived last year, that was right at the end of the preseason, and I always thought it felt like he was swimming upstream trying to get his feet under him here in this offense. This gives Jakorian Bennet a chance here to play and maybe, play in these preseason games. We'll see who's going to be out there tomorrow. But listen to this. Ross Tucker was on with the morning show today, and it sounds like as we're trying to figure out who's going to start on this defense, especially in the secondary, they might have themselves a legitimate test tomorrow night. Here's Ross Tucker, of course, going to call the game on TV tomorrow night, and what he's heard about what we might see here tomorrow night, Thursday night, Bengals-Eagles.
Supposedly, by the way, Joe, the Bengals are going to play their starters some because they've been getting off to slow starts. There's a lot of talk of the Bengals playing Joe Burrow and their starters more this preseason. So we'll see if that's game one or not. But, man, with all the cornerback competition, Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo, I would expect both those guys to play a decent amount. That would be amazing if they could go against Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins for a couple series.
Man. That's kind of what I anticipated. But I thought that this was one of those situations, Joe, that they would have waited to see how it played out and then go get a corner.
Yeah.
They didn't wait. They went and got one like yesterday.
All right, well, then here's a question as we talk about this trade and the Eagles acquiring a corner yesterday. Are you confident in the Eagles secondary, Hugh? Because when I think about it, I'm very, very confident in a couple players. Like I think there's all-pro upside this season to both Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. I think we could have two not just good players, stars. And they already were. I mean, I saw the top 100 countdown is going on right now, NFL, the players vote.
Yeah.
I think Cooper was rated the 60th best player in the NFL already, and Quinyon 49. So these guys, you can already make the case they already are stars. But I think there's a chance the two of them are all pros this season or close to that level. But there's also a couple spots that I have no idea what we're getting. It's a weird secondary where they have two potential true stars, and then the other guys are like, I mean, Reed's solid. Reed's fine. But Hugh, the other spots, I don't know what we're getting out of those other spots. I have a lot of questions about the secondary right now. If this kid that's coming in on a red eye from Las Vegas could start, that is not a ringing endorsement of either Keely or Adoree Jackson.
It's not. And it's one of those things where you look at somebody who can he feels like he might be a plug-and-play guy, or somebody who they feel has enough playing time on this belt that they would be comfortable with him getting up to speed as the season goes along. Because the strength, when I'm thinking of this defense right now, off the top, the strength would probably be the defensive line. I know that some people probably would, argue that probably isn't the case, but I feel like with the cornerstone tackle in Jalen Carter that you have there, that you're going to disrupt a lot of things. You're going to put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's going to be the case. So you got a chance for these corners to be a little bit more opportunistic when they play against quarterbacks of the caliber of Joe Burrow and guys like that.
Yeah, I just feel like they have holes in the secondary. Potential
I got it. Yeah, because it's the unknown.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like teams are going to attack. If I'm playing quarterback, if we're drawing up how to attack the Eagles, you're going to avoid Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right, and you're going to avoid where Cooper is on the field, and you're going to try to get the ball to whoever that other guy is, whether it's Ringo, whether it's Adoree, whether it's this kid they just got from the Raiders here. 215-592-9494. Are you confident in the Eagles secondary? I'm not right now. The fact that, we're making a trade for a guy that could push to play today, like right now, that could jump in.
He probably going to be out there.
Yeah. Kyle, where are you feeling the secondary is Howie tries to improve it yesterday, but it's almost like, what are they telling us by going out and make a move like this?
Now, let's be honest. If you're fully confident in the Eagles secondary right now, that's full-blown Super Bowl syndrome. Still lingering.
It totally is.
From February. I mean, I don't know how anyone can be fully confident in the secondary. given what they lost and what they have replacing them. And the way Vic Fangio's talked about the corner situation, he's basically said neither Ringo nor Adoree Jackson have stood out. And I highly doubt that means they're both like so great that he can't pick between who's going to be better. And if you move Cooper DeJean to safety, which one, I'm not even sure if that's going to be a great move for Cooper DeJean. But two, that weakens the nickel corner position too. And I think we underrate a little bit just how important that nickel's been, especially for the Eagles over the past 10 years or so.
And teams move their best receiver inside sometimes.
Sure. And I mean, think about it this way. 2017, Patrick Robinson was excellent, and they won the Super Bowl. 2022, they went to the Super Bowl. Avonte Maddox had a great season. And then last season, as soon as Cooper DeJean gets plugged into the defense at nickel, things start really taking off. The nickel cornerback is, I think, sort of being lost in this whole thing if we move Cooper DeJean to safety. And then, I mean, besides Quinyon Mitchell, I'm really not fully 100% confident in anybody else in the secondary. I mean, Reed Blankenship, he's a fine player, but he's not great, top of the league coverage safety.
Yeah, he's solid. I
think he's solid, and he was made to look better by the other pieces that were around him last season. I don't know if Cooper DeJean at the other side is going to be able to uplift him in a similar way that they were able to last season. So, I mean, it's Quinyon Mitchell, and then if they move Cooper, I don't know who else, and I don't think this move really speaks to how confident they are in those other top two guys.
Are you confident in the secondary, Hugh?
I think that they have the potential to be versatile. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. I'm not out here every day, but I look at.
We kind of are out here.
Well, when I say,
I know
you know what I mean. Like watching the practices and
play by play,
understanding the concepts and everything. I'm just going by what Elliot tweets out and what I'm hearing, and I feel like when you have a guy like Cooper DeJean that's out there, and if you can get two comparable corners, you have the versatility to move guys around and have them play multiple positions. That's kind of how I see. Cooper is more like the jack of all trades, if you will.
Yeah, no, I Cooper and Quinyon, I think will be great no matter what they do. Obviously, Quinyon's going to follow the best receiver. That's what we've heard in camp. He's going to now do that. Cooper, they'll move around, and I think he'll be positive no matter where he is. But there's two spots.
But I feel like this, Joe,
that are just open.
I think that if I'm thinking about this the right way, there's potential for Cooper to play multiple positions in this defense.
Sure.
Predicated on whatever the team is giving them. Because a lot of these teams nowadays, and I would assume that with the Cincinnati Bengals, even though it's a preseason game, that they're probably going to try to move receivers around and do exotic things. And I could envision Coop coming up on the line and playing on the line, playing like a linebacker, if you will, or dropping into coverage and running with a tight end. He's big enough and he's versatile enough that you could do that with a guy like that.
I have total confidence in two of the players, but there's on most snaps they're going to have 5 secondary players out there, right? Nickel is 90% now. Most snaps they're going to have 5 secondary players out there. Hugh, I'm only confident. I guess I'll include Reed, right? I mean, because I know what Reed is. Kyle, I think, framed it fairly. He's solid.
Yeah, he's solid player.
Right, so 2 of the 5 spots on almost every snap. I have no idea who's going to play, first of all. And I have no idea if they can play. That's a major departure from last year. How many snaps did they give to secondary players that were below average players? Very few. I mean, they were almost all either average or above. Slay, Isaiah Rodgers. They didn't have moments last year. It was very few where they put someone out there like, oh, the defense is going to attack them. Remember when Tristan McCollum came in the Washington game when CJ got thrown out of the game? Mm-hmm. It feels like we have spots like that now where teams are going to say, oh, that's the guy we're going after.
I'm concerned
about it.
I look at it like this. As far as the secondary players go, and I would probably put the linebackers in that too. You probably got 3 guys out there, just off the top of my head. Well, 4. I'll put Reed in there that are competent enough so that they won't blow the coverage for you in the back
But
end.
3 out of 5, that means 2 are out there that you can attack.
Yeah, but how many teams have 3 out of 5 good cover guys?
Yeah, but we don't even know if these guys are good. That's the concern.
But that's what I'm saying. But we got 3.
Well, we got
3, and we got 3.
What's Reed? Reed's
I put him at the 4. I put him in there as the 4th.
No, but he's your 3rd best secondary guy.
But
Quinyon,
I'll go
Cooper,
Zach Bond.
No, he's a line. I'm talking about the secondary.
I put the linebacker. Like
Okay.
when I did my thing, I put the linebackers.
Yeah,
in
I was talking about the 5 secondary players.
Okay.
3 corners, 2 safeties.
Okay.
We only have 3 right now.
Okay. Well, that's probably 3 more than most NFL teams have, Joe, that are decent players.
Yeah, but we're trying to win the Super Bowl.
No, I hear what you're saying, Joe, and I also look at it as these guys can. If you get some guys out there that you like certain aspects of their game, they can get better as the season progresses. Kind of like Kansas City did the year they started with 2 young guys.
I just feel like we didn't have to hide anybody last year, and this year
you feel like that's the case.
we might have to. Yeah, and teams are good at it. Like we're going to face the Cowboys with 2 good receivers in Week 1. Then we're going to Kansas City. You think Andy's going to try to get a matchup on one of these corners?
No, definitely.
McVay in Week 3. I mean, like. That's what the good NFL teams do. They try to get the matchup on the guy that you get the matchup
It's going to be a little bit of, they're going to have a little bit of get back syndrome. They're going to want to get back.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
So we'll see if this kid could play. Are you fully confident in the Eagles secondary? 215-592-9494. 56% early in the poll with clear syndrome here, Kyle. It was expected to happen. There's no question about that.
Clear syndrome.
Yeah,
It's basically just copy and paste. Are you confident in blank with the Eagles? Yeah. They just won the Super Bowl, dude.
Is that the response?
Well,
Of course
yeah,
it is.
of course it is. But they don't have all those players anymore, which is obviously the problem here.